Welcome to Head Kick Audio. I got a special guest on the show all the way from Las Cruces, New Mexico. I got Paul Trujillo, who competes at Rise of the Prospects Cage Series 4 at the Rialto Theater in downtown Tucson, Arizona, April 8th. He's going to be taking on Blake Listello at Bantamweight. Okay, this is your first fight at Bantamweight, 1-1 overall. So let's talk about the camp first. Bone Crushers is the gym that you train at. So how are things going over there? We're a week out.
It's really good, man. We're doing a lot of grappling, striking, just some stuff I have to work on, mainly the floor. Now this week and last week we're just doing a lot of strength and conditioning, conditioning more. But it was a good camp. It's been a good camp overall. Eating good, here and there, and then weight's good. Everything's good. It's a good camp.
Okay. Now coming down from 45, how did you have to make any adjustments in the diet, in the way that you train, or anything like that?
I did. Since I was at 45 in the beginning, I kind of knew I already wanted to try bantamweight, so I stuck around after my last fight around 45, 50. That way it's not as hard, but I did cut down on the diet. Chicken, rice. I didn't really eat no red meats this time, just strictly chicken.
Well, the cutting down a weight class, definitely you got to make the adjustments on the dietary side. Have you felt any effects of the drop, or do you feel that now that you had to make the drop, that the power's still there and you're just in better shape?
Yeah, I feel I'm a lot faster. Going from 45 to 35. I just had to cut that weight, and I'm still fast. I got a lot faster than what I was. So I can't wait to see what stuff I go in the cage with.
Okay, well, Blake Listello, a long rangy guy. You're not very short yourself, sitting at 5'10". It's a pretty decent sized bantamweight, in my opinion. So talk to me about the opponent. What does he do well that we got to keep an eye on?
I was watching his clips, man, and I see that he throws a lot of leg kicks. I believe he works on styles of Muay Thai. He trains at Undisputed, and they do a lot of groundwork as well. So I think mainly I just gotta watch out for the kicks, high, low, and then just get some hooks in there if he tries to take me down. His stand-up game, it's a little wild, but he probably improves from time to time. So see what happens.
Well, I know that a lot of fighters make a lot of improvements from camp to camp, and especially in the amateurs is when you'll see the growth exponentially from camp to camp. So, do you think that you're better than you were in your last fight?
Oh yeah, way better, 100% better. Like I said, going down to bantamweight, the guy in featherweight, he was a lot heavier, so I couldn't buck him off. But now that I went down, I'm still fast, a lot stronger. So if anything happens, I'm able to get off my back or anything like that. I made a lot of adjustments from my last fights.
Well, and that's what you do, right? You learn when you get into a precarious position, that you're not quite familiar with. That's the thing that you go back to the drawing board and figure out. Now, this fight being in Arizona, I know you said you had one fight in Carlsbad, but are you used to coming into enemy territory, or is this a first for you?
That's a first for me. I actually lived there. We lived there last year, and I never got on the card, but I watched it. We watched the first Rise of the Prospects, and it was a brawl, man. So when I was out there, I started training with Joey at Apex with Jojo Smoke and Beto and all them. So now that I'm able to get on the card, I'm gonna put a lot of stuff to use from their camp and from my camp.
Okay, well, that's funny because that's the gym I just came from this morning, getting in with Nick Eldu. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
man, he's a beast, man.
all them kids over there, man, they're doing good stuff over there, and they're just racking up the wins every time they step into the cage. They're doing good stuff. So if you've gotten in any work over at Apex, you're probably on the right track to come out with the W on April 8th. So let's talk about some history on Paul Trujillo. How did you get into the sport? Let's just go ahead and start there.
Well, when I was younger, how I was raised and stuff, always fighting, but getting in trouble, So I actually put it to use, and I was like, let's get in the cage. I started off as kickboxing. I had a kickboxing match. I won that one, and then I had a exhibition kickboxing match. And after that, I just fell in love with the sport, and just staying in condition, doing other things. And then my cousin is well trained as well. So we watch a lot of UFC and boxing overall, like with the family and stuff like that. And I've just been the only one to stick with it, really. So I rather put it to use and not get in trouble rather than, getting in trouble and doing it.
100%. 100%. And that's it's legal what you're doing. You know what I mean? It's a
Exactly.
sanctioned MMA bout, or you get to go in the cage and you know, not get in trouble, right? There you don't have to worry about
Exactly.
the law coming after you, you know what I mean? So that in itself is pretty cool, you know what I mean? Especially if you come from a world where you're doing that on the streets, where the potential for, getting in trouble or going to jail is pretty high. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, there's many benefits I feel to guys that are coming from that world. Also, is there's a potential to get paid for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Exactly.
especially if you work your career correctly, you can rack up sponsors even at the amateur level.
Yeah. Yeah. My last fight in Albuquerque, I had about 8, 9 sponsors for that fight. So it was good. I'm trying to start off now as an amateur, so when I go pro, I already have a lot of background and history, and then local sponsors from out of town that already seen me perform as an amateur, so we can just keep the ball rolling.
Well, you get them on the wagon early, right? You get them on the wagon
Hmm.
in the amateurs, and you build that relationship so that by the time you go pro, you've got a couple stacked up, and they've already been there for a while.
Exactly.
How does your family feel about you taking this endeavor?
My mom and my spouse, they like it, but they hate it, especially if I come back, bruised up, stuff like that. But overall, I got a lot of support from them. Um, so I mean, I'm grateful for that. But my mom won't be there unfortunately this time. But you would hear her in the background. You'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's his mom." And then after she'll check me out and be like, "Hey, what happened?" I'm like, "All right." So they love it though. They support me 100%.
All right, and then obviously, weight cuts, they're kind of a pain in the butt, right?
Yeah.
So how does your family go about navigating the weight cut? Because there's the you have to watch what you eat around the competitor. You have to be mindful of there's going to be attitudes at times because when you're depriving yourself of food, that happens. So how do they deal with that?
My it actually helps me because since I live in Las Cruces, right, and my mom lives in El Paso, so it helps me, if I don't go over there. But we like to cook here, but my spouse, she keeps me on a diet. She actually gets on the diet with me. Um, the last 2, 3 weeks, she'll help me out, and we just get prepared. We'll drink water with lemon, just start going slowly, start cutting the weight slowly, and then a week or 2 weeks out, we hit it hard.
Okay. And then a question I ask everybody on the show. Nobody gets a pass, right? So on April 8th, when the ref raises your hand and Fausto announces you as the winner, I would like to know how you are going to celebrate with your victory meal.
Oh man, I'm actually gonna go to Waffle House, man, and get a Philly from Waffle House or Charlie's, since we don't have neither one of those here. So that's what I'm gonna celebrate with.
Okay. And how long are you going to be in town?
We'll get there Thursday or Friday, so we'll be there for about 2 days, 3 days.
Okay. Okay. And you got a lot of people coming out with you?
Um, my dad and my uncle, they live out there in Arizona. So about 3 or 4 of them from there will be there, and then my spouse is gonna go with me. I would normally have everybody there, but Easter Sunday is the next day, so yeah, everybody's preparing for that.
I understand. I understand. It's a difficult thing. How do you navigate holidays when you're in training camp or having a fight? How do you navigate the holidays?
We'll just go visit for a little bit, and I'll snack on little things here and there. But other than that, I won't eat like big course meals like I would want to. So uh, it's tough, man. So just water and just little snacks here and there, really.
I understand. I know that the fight life isn't always easy. You know what I mean? I
It,
have been there
it's
myself.
not.
It's tough, man. It's tough. All right. So on April 8th, you're going to be fighting Blake Listello, a kid that trains out of Undisputed. He's been in the cage before. He's been in the arena before. So there's going to be a lot that you're going to have to adapt to, right? Because there's going to be more
Yeah.
people out there to see him. He's a long, rangy, goofy guy in the way that he comes, pretty unorthodox. You know what I mean? So there's a lot that you have to deal with there. What do you think is the most difficult thing that you're working with right now?
As opposed to my opponent.
Just this entire camp. What do you think is the thing that's been in your way the most?
Been in my way, my favor, I would say stand up. Stand up, man. Like I said, I worked a lot of ground, but it's there, but I'm comfortable with it. It's just not as useful, you know. So I say if I stay on top, stay on the boxing range, I'll be good. Like I said, I've seen him his last fight against Andres. I seen that he got taken down a few times, but he was able to get up. You know, use the cage and just get up. Since he's lengthy, he can do it right away. So I would just try to stay stand up with the guy.
Okay, and how do you see yourself winning this fight, man?
To be honest, TKO.
Start racking up them finishes, right?
Yeah, after the last two, man, I'm like, I'm tired of going into decisions. So I'm working on TKOs, knockouts, power, a lot of stuff. So
Well, I'm very excited to see you fight. Blake Listello always brings a fun fight as well, so it's going to be fire in there for sure. At the end of my interviews, I like to give my guests as much time to thank whoever they'd like, so go ahead and take the floor.
say that again.
I said at the end of the interviews, I typically like to give my guests as much time as they'd like to thank whoever they'd like, so go ahead and take the floor.
I'd like to thank my coaches out here in New Mexico, my teammates, getting me prepared, my family for supporting me, and then I'd also like to thank Apex out there in Arizona. I'm going to put some of their work to use come next weekend. So I'd like to thank everybody out there, Jojo Smoke, Joey, Rivera, everybody out there at that camp as well.
All right, and you got any sponsors you like to shout?
Not this one, I don't, but I will next one.
And that's right. If you want to support up and coming fighter, this is the man right here. Tell the audience where they can follow you on social media.
So I have my Facebook right now. It's Paul Trujillo. I don't got no Instagram, anything right now. So it's just Facebook right now.
I will work on that social media game, buddy. That's how you build your brand.
Yeah.
All right, Paul Trujillo taking on Blake Listello, Rise of the Prospects, Cage Series 4 at the Rialto Theater. Weigh-ins, I believe, are going to be at the Wyndham Inn west of the freeway. I'm not really 100% sure where it's at.
Yeah, at the Ramada.
Okay. So come support your fighters, get your tickets from your fighters, and support them any way you can. Give them a follow, like, share, whatever on social media. And before I get you out of here, is there anything that you would like to get into the universe?
No, man. That's about it.
All right. Well, I appreciate the time. Until next time.
All right. We'll see you next weekend, my man. Have a good one.